about time to get started. Hello, everybody. I am so glad to see you all here as we celebrate this community that we've created and our victories in the midterms. For those who don't know me, I'm Janet Singer, the political director of Crimson Goes Blue. And tonight I want to talk about why we do this work, why electing Democrats and protecting our democracy matters. And I will spend some time on what happened in this election, mostly because what we learned from this election will inform our plans as we move forward, dare I say, to 2024. Tonight, you will also hear stories from two of our members who are on the ground in Georgia and North Carolina, and we will have entertainment by the Harvard callbacks, because it wouldn't be a Crimson Goes Blue event without a little song and dance. We will also hear from former Governor Deval Patrick about what it means to practice democracy, to really live our values. We'll have time for Q&A, and we'll get a taste of the future with remarks from our intern, Carter Demaray, class of 25. So, David Letterman style, here is my top 10 list of the things we have to celebrate. Number 10, this is the first election since 1934 where the incumbent party did not lose any state houses and in fact flipped 3 from red to blue. Number 9, nearly every Republican candidate who lost has conceded without incident. Number 8, despite our fears of vigilante violence, and maybe because of all the volunteer poll observers, polling places generally avoided voter intimidation problems. Number 7, we picked up 2 more Democratic governorships. Number 6, voters chose to protect reproductive rights in every state with a ballot measure about abortion. Number 5, in the week before Election Day, the overwhelming majority of court rulings protected and expanded voting access across the country. Number 4, every single election-denying Stop the Steal candidate for Secretary of State in a battleground state lost. This means that election deniers will have almost no power in states where the presidential outcome could be in doubt. Number 3, we lost the fewest House seats by the incumbent party in 20 years. Number 2, we held on to the majority in the Senate, which means that Mitch McConnell will not have the gavel back in his hand. Number 1, my top 10 reason for celebration is all of you who put in countless hours talking to voters and tending to our democracy. We celebrate all of you who made Crimson Goes Blue the largest swing left blueprint giving circle in the country by contributing $500,000 to candidates in battleground states and grassroots groups that do the year-round work of organizing communities and mobilizing voters. I want to celebrate all of you who participated in phone banks, including today to Wisconsin, Nevada, which I can finally pronounce correctly, and now Georgia, and who canvassed together in Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, New Hampshire, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, and who worked with our voter protection team to safeguard our elections. We started Crimson Goes Blue in the summer of 2019 to get Trump out of office and elect Democrats to take back the Senate majority. We believed and still believe that we need good leadership in our government to bring about a just society, and that any of the causes we care about, climate, reproductive justice, a living wage, the freedom to marry who you love, are championed by Democrats. We support Democrats because the societal changes we seek require elected representatives who are forward-looking, not clinging to some imagined halcyon past. This election was very close. If we had gotten just 3,340 more votes in the 5 closest House races, we would have held the House too. In close elections, the ground game, the folks talking to voters on the phone and at the door, is what marks the difference between winning and losing. Crimson Goes Blue is part of the historically powerful anti-MAGA, pro-democracy coalition. And while the conditions for a red wave were there, economic woes, a president with low approval ratings, this time, as Leisha Hurst quoted to me from Twitter, the red wave was more like a little pink spotting. What accounts for that? There were many factors, and there will be much more analysis in the coming months about who turned out and where. But I think the evidence is that two unusual issues, democracy and abortion, played a significant role. Unlike in the typical midterm election, the party out of power managed to impose a radical, unpopular agenda, despite not controlling the presidency or the Congress. That allowed Democrats to campaign as the more moderate party in a way that was both historically unusual and quite powerful. And it explains the unevenness of some of the results. Think Republican wins in congressional races in usually blue California and New York. Republican strength showed up in places where democracy and abortion access were not at stake. Democrats did a better job of persuading independents to vote for them. In the last 4 midterms, independents voted for the out party by double digits, but this time independents voters broke for the Democrats. Democratic incumbents ran very, very disciplined campaigns that focused on the issues that people cared about, and they ran differently in different states. This was a very high turnout election, only exceeded by the midterm turnout of 2018. We saw a very high turnout among the under 30 set, though at 27%, it is still in my mind appallingly low and a big opportunity for us. However, there was a drop in support for Democrats from voters of color, working class, and rural voters, as well as relatively lower turnout of Black voters nationwide. There is much to unpack about that, more than I can possibly do tonight, but stay tuned. It's important that we examine all of this. So what is on the horizon for us for 2023 and 2024? We are soon launching a strategic planning process, which will be informed by a survey coming shortly to your inboxes. Please fill it out with your honest appraisal of Crimson Goes Blue and all your suggestions for our future. In 2023, we want to grow our membership. We'd love help from all of you in expanding our numbers, and we particularly want to grow in the places where critical elections will occur. So I hope you will all get out your red books and invite your classmates in Wisconsin, West Virginia, Ohio, and Montana to join us. We aspire to reach every Harvard alum who cares about injustice in our society. This is going to be the year for all of us to study the art and science of messaging to win. Stay tuned for more trainings on this. And voter registration. I'd like to see us at every Pride Parade, Earth Day event, and music festival in the battleground states. We've got a chance to go big here. We would also love for more of you to volunteer with the internal operations of CGB. We need fundraisers, event planners, communications experts, and techno wizards to keep this thing going. Please reach out to us. We will also be exploring the possibility of replicating our model at other colleges. So what's coming in 2024? Well, we don't yet know who our candidates will be, but we do know that the presidency, the House, and the Senate will all be up for grabs. And we will take what we've learned and use it in our efforts to forge a more just American democracy. I'm proud of what we've accomplished so far, and I know with help from all of you, we'll continue to make a difference. During our canvassing trips, those of us from blue states went to work with and be guided by our members on the ground in places like Georgia and North Carolina. It was so rewarding to get out the vote with CGB members and activists from these states. And now I want to turn it over to Candace Smith, Harvard Law School class of '93, and Faulkner Fox, class of '85,